Silas, my brother, welcome. Appreciate you taking the next 15, 20 minutes of time to chat to me. We've been obviously friends for many, many years. We've worked
Yeah,
together in some areas in business, areas in life. We both come from a very similar background. Today, let's walk people through your life, your journey, how this whole online marketing thing has changed your life. And we'll start with a little intro. So tell people who you are.
yeah. My name is Silas. I'm 24 years old now. I live in Switzerland actually. Like I came from the same place as Alessandro, as he said, as he mentioned. And yeah, I grew up in Switzerland. I'm here currently working remotely from all over the world. And yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Amazing. All right. So, yeah, guys, for context, for everyone listening, we know each other, no hiding that. We grew up together in a very similar location, in the same city, actually. And we went through school together. We went through high school together. We actually went to the same school after high school as well, when we were both working a job, both miserable as fuck.
Yeah.
We drank a bunch of alcohol together, smoked a bunch of weed together, all of that stuff. And we have both massively changed our life. So, as a starting point for people who don't know you, can you describe where you were just, I think it was 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and
Yeah, it
just
was
your
like one and
overall
a half year.
life? Exactly. Your overall life before just joining the program and working together with me on this marketing thing.
Yeah, my life was basically like that I just worked in an office in Zurich as a similar like a graphic designer doing some work for my company and for other clients for my boss. And yeah, I drove like every day from my place to Zurich, which take like an hour of train drive. And the train was like stacked of people which are just unhappy, never smiling, depressed. And yeah, the whole energy was like shit. And this energy just also affected me because I feel like miserable going there every day, staying there for 8, 9 hours, doing work with which I like, but I just don't like to do it for someone else, you know. Like I'm doing now similar things, but there I did it for someone else, and now I do it for me. Like these are completely different things. And yeah, I was miserable. I was in bad shape, bad habits, bad friends. Overall, I had a shit life. Like I didn't feel good. It was just like, yeah,
Yeah,
shit.
100%. Absolutely. We all know how that life was, right? Back in the day, just frustrated all the time, depressed, not really seeing a way out. The people listening, they're probably in the same shoes as you were 1 or 2 years ago, me 3 years ago, where, we had no free time, right? The only free time we really had was our weekends. And of course, we both know what we did on our weekends. We
Mm,
just partied and went crazy just to find ourselves back on Monday in the office in this never ending cycle of frustration and unhappiness. So,
exactly. Yeah.
how did you actually start like figuring out this online stuff? Like, what would you say was a turning point that made you decide, hey, I want to do this marketing thing as well?
Like I'm doing these marketing things like a long time ago. Like I started at 16 doing some things there and some things there, like some small content creation services for other theme pages on Instagram. But I never took it seriously because my whole life was like full of bad habits, bad things, bad friends. So I could not focus that much on my business to take it seriously. Um, but as you mentioned, we know each other like from a long time. I saw the whole progress from you also, which of course also made me to think about what can I do, how could that work out for me. So I started like doing small things, stopped again after half of a year, started again, stopped again, like this the whole time.
Yep.
So I didn't took it seriously. And yeah, then we talked, I think, and you told me a few things about brand marketing and how exactly you work for your clients. Like this was also your starting time, I think, like
Yep.
3, 4 years ago, I think now, maybe 4 years. And yeah, I started to to reach out to people and yeah, start working for them with the brand marketing strategies which you told me and which you inspired me to do. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I remember that specifically. I grew followers, then I started getting introduced to clients. I started making some money. I spoke to many, many friends in our friend group. Hey, try this, do that, do outreach, send these videos to these online coaches. You can help them and get paid for it. And I
Exactly.
remember specifically that you are pretty much the only guy who fully committed,
Yeah.
and obviously not from one day to another, but you stayed consistent and you have been doing this now since I remember your theme page back in the day as well. I remember your first few clients. Just as a quick jump, you're now working with how many clients as a
Right
brand
now,
marketer?
like 8, 9 clients at the moment.
Nice. So you do some content creation for some, growing them, helping them grow their brands, and you also coach slash consult a few people, right?
Exactly, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect. All right. So let's talk about your first impressions that you had when I started to make money as well through this brand marketing thing, right? Um, Generally speaking, about the online money making space, what were some of your initial thoughts and feelings when I started to see success with it as well? Were you skeptical? Did you believe it? What would you say? How did that
Mm.
feel like?
Like I believe that to the power of the internet all the time because I also tried some different things like the jewelry store. I think you remember. I
Exactly.
tried some other drop shipping stuff, so I knew that you can make money from the internet. And yeah, after that, like when you gain your first results, like I didn't was that much curious to be honest, because I knew the power of the internet and I knew how powerful it could be when you stick to it. Like not that much like I knew it now, but I knew that if you stick to it, you're gonna make the progress. But of course, there were like so many people online telling you things, drop shipping stuff, SMA stuff, different stuffs, and yeah, I didn't trust them to be honest, but I knew you like from day one, and that's why I trusted you and I saw the progress which you made, and I knew that I can do it also because I came from a background of the graphic design, so I could implement the things I get from there in my business, and yeah, so I knew like very fast that this is the place I want to go in later.
Nice. Amazing. I think one thing important to mention here as well is we both come from a place where money making online is in nobody's brain.
Yeah,
Like people in our hometown, they to this day probably think, hey, this is all voodoo, this is all tricks, this doesn't work, it's all a scam.
yeah,
Um, but like you said, you now today understand more than you did in the beginning, of course, even myself, that there's so much power behind it. And even hitting some numbers like maybe $5,000 a month for me in the beginning, um, I never believed this when I started. Like the idea of making a few $1,000s a
yeah.
month online on your own terms without having a boss was mind blowing. And now obviously we know better, right? It's good to be on the other side.
Yes, yes, it's amazing.
Sure. All right. Now, obviously, one area of life is always business. We will talk about that in a second. The other area is always your personality, your personal growth. Would you say just this light at the end of the tunnel of, hey, there's this marketing thing, I can make money with this? How did this affect your life in general and also your personality, confidence, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it affected it much because I had something to stick at it. Before that, I had nothing. Like I only had the job, which I knew I will never do that for 40 years. And through the marketing stuff, through the brand marketing stuff, I just gained like a purpose in life. I knew what to do, and like the habits which I learned from the business, like staying consistent, doing the things I don't want to do, stuff like that. I also like implemented on other areas of my life, like physically, mentally. You know how I looked like 5 years ago. Like I was
Yeah.
overweight. Yeah, as I mentioned, it was just a shitty life. Smoking weed all the time, drinking alcohol, didn't take care of me. And yeah, like through all this stuff, I learned so many things about myself. Like I would not say that only like the business that I focus more on the business made me do the other things, but it clearly had an impact on
Yeah,
that
it goes
also.
like hand in hand. You know,
Yeah,
you're
exactly,
more
exactly. Yeah.
consistent in the gym, which you will be more consistent in the business, and the business you will be more consistent in the gym. So yeah, and you had a massive transformation, bro. Like you dropped, I don't know how many kilos
Yeah, it
the
was
last
like
few years.
30, 30.
Yeah, like 30 kilos, which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as well, something we can mention here too is your life in general, right? I remember in the beginning when I started, you know, traveling and going to different countries and working from there. You were still in Switzerland and still working that job like a year ago, 1.5, something like that. Now you're coming home after like a 3-4 month trip, you know, where you were working online as well.
5 months actually. 5 months
5 months
maximum.
even.
Yeah.
How did that feel going from, you know, having 5 weeks of holidays a year in your 9 to 5 to being able to do whatever you want for 5 months? How was that?
Bro, this was the most crazy time of my life. Like, you guys have to think about that. I was stuck in an office. I quit my job on the 1st of or on the 31st of October, and
Yep.
my plane ticket was like on the 1st of November. And like
Yep.
I came from a place of daily depression nearly to hop in a plane, go to the other side, like Tulum, Mexico, stayed there for 5 months, like completely different life. Had now time to work on myself, to work on my habits, to work on my physics, to eat healthy, track macros, do business stuff and stuff like this. Like I I knew all the time that when I have enough time to work on my business, I can do it easily because I know what I can do. Like I know what I can deliver if I have the time. Like the only thing which stopped me was the 9 to 5. Like I lost there like 8 hours of work and 2 hours of train drive. Go there and go come back. And yeah, like this time was yeah the craziest time of my life. Like there I learned so many things about me. I didn't go there with much money to mention that. Like I had a couple of bucks saved up from the 9 to 5, but it wasn't like that I can live there with no worries. Like I had a little bit money on the bank, but not that much. So I knew I had to work. And yeah, they're also like I worked. I assigned their new clients also, made my first money like online, like outside from my hometown, which was amazing.
It's
I
amazing.
remember like I posted a screenshot there, which I made like nearly the salary which I got from a month in a 9 to 5, like 3 weeks there in paradise. And like from that point, I knew like it's no way back. Like I knew I will never return in an office. There's no chance. And
Yeah,
yeah, then yeah, that's it.
I love it. I love it. I like to say, you know, once you're on the other side, you know too much. If you know, me personally, and we kind of had a similar, everyone in Switzerland is the same when it comes to, you know, income after school. We make, in comparison to international, really, really good money. Like we make out of the gate 4 to 5K, but it's always this aspect of you exchange 40 hours a week for
Mm,
it.
mm,
Even the money at the end of the month, you have nothing left. There's nothing to do in that country really. So you're wasting your money and you're wasting your time. And then to be able to, you know, pack your MacBook, fly to a different country, and make even more than that, more than your salary from monthly salary from a remote paradise, it's life changing. I remember how it was for me as well in the
yeah.
beginning. It's like it's even surreal thinking about the time we spent and like the 5 months out here, you know, of just young hustlers grinding on their business while everyone else in
Yeah.
our old friend circle is working a job, you know.
Yeah. I remember when we talked like if a man wants to be that long in that country, like he has to work for how much did you say, 15 years to get that time of
Exactly.
free time?
Yeah. So 5 months, like we traveled, someone who has 5 weeks of holidays needs to work for 13 or
Yeah,
14
it's
years
crazy. It's
for
mind blowing.
5 months. So insane, insane. So yeah, we saved ourselves a good, you know, 10 years plus
Yeah.
with that. Amazing. So we're living an incredible life. So let's talk about some specific achievements or success stories, things you find specifically nice after, after applying what you learned from me as well, this marketing thing, what would you say are some of the successes that you've been able to achieve lately since starting?
Yeah, like I think the first big success was signing my first client, which I didn't sign for much money. It was a couple of $100. So I just worked for him to get my first testimonials, to learn some new things. And like the first 3 or 4 clients, I didn't pay me much, like a few hundred bucks, but it was although a nice feeling. Like
Yep.
I but I have to say, like I got the payment from them and I paid an editor like to get nice results. So from the beginning, I wanted to deliver results for my clients. Like this was for me very important because I knew that he pays me and I want to help him. And like I think this is also more important than the money because with these skills which I learned from you, I can help other businesses. And like this never ends because we're going more and more in the digital century. Like yeah, everybody's trying to sell online their things, and having a skill set which you can help them build their brand and sell their products, coachings online, like yeah, it's the way to go, like for me. And yeah, like signing the first clients was a great success. Then managing to get my first month more like money than I get from my 9 to 5, which was also amazing. I remember a day
Nice.
like I made, it was like a month ago, like I made the whole salary which I got from a month of 9 to 5, I made like in one day. And this was also
Yeah.
like mind blowing. It was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like a few years ago, I went to work there for 1 month, like lost 500 hours. I don't know like how many hours a month has,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and making this amount of money in one day was mind blowing for me. Like, yeah, I think this was the one of the best successes which I made, the best achievements. And yeah, getting results from my clients. Like I grew a page from 1,000 to 10,000 followers in a very, very specific niche, like in 4 months, which is also great. And yeah, just helping people. Like I got clients which are like 2 years on Instagram and didn't make a sale. And then I jump in and we made sales like 3 or 4 months after we started. And like I think these things of happiness money can't buy because you see in their eyes like they are genuinely like yeah, they're proud of you and they are um happy for you and they are yeah, you are worth it. I don't know how to say it like perfect in English, but I think you get what I mean.
Yeah. You
Um,
see, you like feel that they appreciate you and that they value
appreciate
you.
that. That's the right word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right word.
100%.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is, in my opinion, of course, I'm very biased because I think this is the best business to start for anyone. But
Mm,
this aspect of, you charge people money upfront, but you also charge them commissions, which
exactly.
if you really help them and if you're a type of guy like you and me and you over deliver constantly, you
Mm,
will be rewarded for these hours and hours that you put in, right? And this is something that, like you said, you go from making X amount of money per month to making this in one day
mm,
because you first make yourself more valuable to the online marketplace, then you find someone who needs that value, you come together as actual just two individuals who get along with each other well as well,
yeah.
and you help grow a business. And more importantly for me, I think as well, when you get results like this, when you make X amount of money, even just $1,000 in a day, for example, we used to work after school a month for this, one whole month of tedious work for someone else.
Mm,
And it's like what this does to your self-confidence and self-love, seeing a payment like that is incredible. Was incredible
incredible.
for me as well.
Yeah.
100%. All right, amazing. So 8 clients, consulting a few, growing the brands for a few, making more than your 9 to 5, having your own schedule, being able to do whatever the fuck you want, basically. Amazing. All right. That was quite a transformation, bro. I'm proud of you. One thing I
Thanks,
want to
bro.
ask you, two things I want to ask you towards the end. With the skills and knowledge you have now, we know you're not looking back, but what are your next steps, goals in your career as an entrepreneur?
Well, yeah, I think like I will do this for other brands, like brand marketing for other brands like this year. These are just some plans which came in my mind a few weeks ago. And then from next year on, I also want to start my own product
Yeah.
in this space. Like my main goal was all the time like helping people which are in the same situation as I was back then. Like
Yeah.
that's the number one thing for me that would fulfill me that much. But I also knew like I have to do these brand marketing things now just to live that life which I want and don't need to work for anybody else. But I enjoy it. Like it's not like that I don't enjoy, but like my purpose is clearly to coach people which are in a bad shape with bad friends, smoking weeds and doing things they don't like. And yeah, but this is future stuff. Like now just focus on the clients, do some great things
Yes,
for
sir.
them, and yeah, then we see what the time will do.
Yes, sir. 100%. I'm excited to see the progress. And this is the beautiful thing about this business, right? It's not just something, we looked at so many videos in our lifetime probably of, hey, you can make $10,000 so quick with this business model and that. But there's never a long-term view with these businesses. It's like, can you really see yourself having stores or running ads for years and years and years? No, you will make money, but it will not fulfill you.
Yeah.
The way to achieve fulfillment is by helping people. And how do you help people in this day and age of social media? You learn how to attract them to your page and you learn how to sell products to them, which are the skill sets that you are already have been building. You're getting paid to apply these skill sets. But most importantly, once you feel ready to start your personal brand, you can use everything that you have learned, everything
Yeah.
that you have already, studied and gotten paid for, to just use it for your own, which is essentially what I'm doing now as well. So beautiful, bro. I like that. You will definitely be able to help people massively losing weight, changing environment, letting go of vices, leveling up your finances. I definitely see that, bro. 100%. All
Thanks, bro.
right. Nice. And then the last question will be, obviously I get DMs from people who are super skeptical. People are watching my YouTube. They're always like, oh, this is not true, blah, 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 all of their bullshit, right? Which we've been there as well. It's normal. But what advice would you give to someone who is in this position where you found yourself in, like maybe 2 years ago, and they just came across my content? What would you say to them?
Well, I would just say to them, do it because like so many people, especially like for me, I have to say it like that. Yeah, I think you have to be committed because you can't do that if you're not committed. You also know that, Alessandro. But I say to everybody who is 100% committed that he don't want to live this life anymore, which he is stuck in right now, just go into this program from Alessandro, like from the bottom of my heart, like he helped me also so much. And I know how important for him it is to help people. Like, for let's be honest, like for you also, it's not the money. Like
Nah,
you also want to change them people's life because you knew how stuck they are, and I also know how stuck they are right now, maybe. And yeah, just invest in yourself. And the most important thing when you go in there, just stick to it and don't give up. Like a few months after, just stick to it for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then there is no chance that you don't get the results. Like that's
yes,
what I can
sir.
say. Just do it. Don't give a fuck what people say. Don't listen to your parents also, because also my parents say, "Oh, how can you quit your job? How can you do that?" And now I'm showing them payments which I made, yeah, in a day, and they're like, "I'm so glad that you did it." And like
Yeah,
these things are also like money can't buy these things, because if you have that vision and you know you are born to make more than working 9 to 5, just go for it, because you only live
facts.
once. And you have when you have like somebody like Alessandro who lives the life, like you see his progress, you can also see my progress. Like we're proof of this stuff, that this stuff works. So just go for it.
Appreciate
Go
that a
for it,
lot.
and yeah, stay there also.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. I'm proud of you, man. I'm excited to see future results as well. Again, guys, anyone listening, we've both been there. We both saw people successful online. We both were skeptical. It's
Yeah,
always the same for everyone. You just have to take a leap of faith and not give up. And if you put in the work, you will find yourself in a beautiful remote paradise faster than you think.
faster than you think. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, brother. Thank you so much. Excited, like I said, to see the future numbers coming in, the future impact coming in. Any step along the way, if you need help, obviously, you can just always reach out. I'm always here. And thank you very much for your time, brother. Appreciate it.
No problem, bro. Not for that.